Hi there. In this video, we're going to talk about slope-intercept form. Now, this is a way to write equations of lines. All right, and we write these in the form of y equals mx plus b. And what these numbers signify is that the m is my slope and that b is my y-intercept. Now, your y-intercept is simply just a starting point. All right, and it's where the line crosses the y-axis. Your slope is a measure of steepness. And it can also generate more points on the graph. Now let's look at a couple of examples of how to use slope-intercept form to graph equations. So my first example is I want to graph a line with a slope of 3/4 and a y-intercept of -1. The first thing that I can do is I can write an equation, and I could say y is equal to 3/4 x minus 1. Okay, all I'm taking is my slope and my y-intercept and plugging it into my equation for m and for b. Now let's go ahead and graph this. Now once I draw a graph, the first thing I notice is that I want to plot my point at my y-intercept. Remember that my y-intercept is a starting point. So I locate -1 on my y-intercept and plot that point. And then I use my slope to generate more points. So I would go up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, and plot a new point. I would also go the same way, go down 1, 2, 3, go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and plot another point. And what I can do is I can connect those with a line, and I can also label them. This is the point 0, -1. This is the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. This is the point down here, -1, 2, 3, 4, -4. Okay? And so based on what information I'm given, I can use that to generate more points on my graph. On the next example, I want to determine the slope and y-intercept from the graph. The first thing I want to look for is my y-intercept. So I locate my y-axis and I try and find where does my line cross it at and what's that number. And that point's going to be right here. So I label that point, and that's going to be a point of 2 is my y-intercept. Okay? The next thing I want to look at is my slope, and I want to do rise over run. Now remember, I'm using the concept of positive, negative, 0, undefined in order to figure out what kind of slope I have. Because I'm going down to the right, I have a negative slope. Now what I want to do is then go from one point to the next and go rise over run. Now I'm going down 2 over 2. So my slope, m, is equal to -2 divided by 2. Now when I divide these numbers, I get a slope value of -1. And that's my slope. This is my y-intercept. And one way that we would want to write this, and I've already done it for the slope, but we would say m is equal to -1 and b is equal to 2. Now given that information, I could also write an equation saying that y is equal to -1 times x plus 2. Now if I take -1 times x, that's really just going to give me -x. So y is equal to -x plus 2, and that would be the equation that I would write. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye!